What's going on, guys? I hope you are doing well this afternoon. It is 3:28 Central Standard Time where I am at here. Just wanted to give you an update on the charts. Currently looking at SPX as per usual. Currently looking at the 4-hour time frame. Each candle is 4 hours of price action. So, last video I talked about this mini descending broadening wedge channel indicated by the turquoise dotted lines right here. Okay, I say blue a lot, but realistically it's truly turquoise, but turquoise is longer than the word blue, so I like to say blue just to simplify shit. Anyway, okay, so on the 4-hour, the 9 and 21 exponential moving average has crossed. Well, yeah, you probably need yeah, next candle close here will confirm that. So, unless the market completely dumps and nullifies this cross, it looks like we're about to get a cross. So essentially, going back to the mini descending broadening wedge indicated by the dotted turquoise lines, yeah, we have a breakout and we're exceeding it. Usually, these descending broadening wedge patterns, they actually go to the top of the pattern right here, funny enough, but actually it far exceeded that, interestingly enough. But yeah, as I zoomed out, I've noticed on the 4-hour time frame we have a more solid base of a larger descending broadening wedge pattern, which is another bullish indication. Also on the 4-hour, actually even on the daily, this is the second candle above the yellow line, which was consistently support throughout this run. Now on a daily perspective, as you can see, there was a significant bounce to maintain that daily support line, which is super huge. And to me, this particular move validates actually continuation, if you were to ask me. As you can see, we do have significant support, I'm sorry, significant resistance here on a 4-hour time frame confirmed. So as long as price is below here, you would have to assume that this is still valid technically, right? Oh, hold on, my bad. There you go. So this is still technically valid until we see a resolution. Now, these descending broadening wedge patterns are predominantly bullish. There's an 80% hit rate in regards to them breaking to the upside. So given that we have daily support right below, there has been a confirmed bounce. We've had bullish engulfing candles, not one but two, break back above this yellow line. And we're getting a 9 and 21 exponential moving average cross. So that's safe to say, in my humble opinion, that we are actually going to continue moving to the upside, which, to be honest, this data accumulated here, it was a little shocking. The bulls were kind of losing ground, but given what I'm seeing on the daily perspective, this ultimately just looks like a macro bounce that is going to continue this move forward, and thus validating this even larger descending broadening wedge pattern on a daily perspective. So I'm very excited about that as a asset holder. Okay, so let's go with dominance here. I'm going to move to dominance. So essentially on the daily perspective, we've had this line of resistance play out here. We got a bearish cross in regards to dominance. Now this just means that most likely we are going to see a percentage dump to the downside, giving an opportunity for the altcoins to have their day in the sun, which is actually pretty good if you ask me. Now if I were to go to the momentum waves, there has been a bearish divergence right here, but money flow is still kind of bluish. We'll see where that goes. Ultimately, we do have a confirmed resistance top right here. So basically, right here, there's been some form of a rejection. All right, so from that standpoint, until that mark, which is 43.89 roughly, percent is taken out, I would be bearish and I would be expecting lower because the trend is your friend until the end. So we have it's very simple, really. We have, let me turn off the magnet here. We got a high, got a lower high, got a lower high, and this could potentially be another lower high. So, and also we're getting a low, lower low, lower low. So the trend is your friend till the end. So we're still consistently getting lower highs and lower lows. So until that is broken, I would definitely expect this to actually lose some form of strength within the coming days, which is great for altcoins, to be honest. So if I were to just skip ahead, I usually do quant later, but I want to see the effects here. Yeah, we did get a pump. Yeah. Um, so for the past, say, couple, yeah, pretty much, wow. We've been dumping for a while here. Let me just go on a daily perspective real quick. I really should start with a daily perspective. Pretty much since October, we have been dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping. This is Bitcoin versus Quant, the altcoin. There was some whale manipulation. There was an attempt to break this price away from the 0.382 Fibonacci extension, which is a common reversal area. So as you can see, the bulls have actually stepped up, and the Bollinger Bands have been tagged and caused a pivot to go back to support. So from a daily candle perspective, this would be the first candle actually to, well, actually not first, sorry. This would be the first weekday candle to close above support. Actually, yeah, so this is Monday, this is Sunday, this is Saturday, this is Friday. So Friday was technically a weekend, so that's why I wasn't classifying it. But having a weekday candle close above the 9 exponential moving average is actually very telling to me. I really do feel that the 21 exponential moving average is kind of losing some validity as resistance, and we're kind of on the sideways action price. But given this is a larger falling wedge pattern, funny enough, so if we can actually get a candle close break above and basically hold the 0.382 Fibonacci extension, we're most likely going to go back to these particular levels here, which would actually net, going back up here, a 21% gain at the very, very least. Ultimately, though, the 0.382 is a very common level in a macro level to actually find a pivot point to then reverse to the upside, where then we can eventually go to the 1618 and maybe even the 2618 depending on the severity of the pump. But as you can see, if you zoom out on a if you zoom out on a larger time frame, we have this consistent area here that's been kind of acting as like support and resistance from a diagonal level, and it has broken out, and now it's just kind of the severity of the incline. I'm sorry, the decline is the severity of the decline is diminishing, which is a good sign, because the more times you are at sideways, it just means that the worst is over essentially. And given on the daily time frame, we do have a bullish divergence right here, and as you can see, if you zoom in on these dots, the dots are starting to turn turquoise color. So from that standpoint, altcoins are looking better as investment opportunities. So yeah, from my perspective, I am glad. Now let me go to an intraday time frame. I like the 37-minute time frame. I'll be completely honest, because it's a precursor to the 1 hour essentially. So I like to look at this and see what's the deal. So essentially, the Bollinger Bands are very, 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 very tight. Okay, so this is telling me that we're going to have a really fast move either to the downside or to the upside. So these yellow dotted support and resistance levels are actually stronger than the blue dotted and the red dotted support and resistance levels. So this is my true range right here. This is the area where I consider true support and true resistance from an intraday perspective. Okay, so if I were to see candle closes above this particular area, I would be more so bullish. If I see candle closes below this area, I would be, very, very bearish. That's basically how it is. So until that happens, I'm expecting choppiness. Okay, so up until this point. So that's kind of like where I am at regarding Ethereum. But if you go to Bitcoin, Bitcoin has had a real nice, I'll be honest, like a bounce off of this key level. Thank goodness I caught this. I caught this a couple of days prior to the dump, But yeah, we've had this solid area of support here, and overall it looks like it's actually playing out to this extent. We did get a bullish engulfing candle right here. The bears did try to nullify the pump, but as you can see, the bearish candle did not close below the bullish candle. We did get a wick, but so far the candle has not closed. But as long as we have candle closes above this bullish engulfing candle, I will be leaning more so bullish than bearish. I like to long support and short resistance. It's just that simple for me. So overall, we are closer to support than resistance. So I have to be honest with you and say, yeah, like I have been looking for long scalps. I'll be completely honest with you on like say the 15-minute time frame, the 24-minute time frame. And of course, I like to keep my eye on what's happening on the 4-hour, the daily charts, and if I see some synchronicities within those time frames, I feel that much more confident about the trend of the market overall. But yes, as it stands on the 4-hour, we did get a sell signal, okay? But if I were to zoom in on the 37-minute time frame, we're going away from red money flow and we're going into blue money flow ever so slowly. So this will be a grind to the upside in my opinion. So as you can see here, money flow was deep, 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 deep red, and then as you can see, gradually going from red to blue. So now there could be some news event, some significant, disgusting news that's gonna like dump the market. But unless something of that magnitude doesn't happen, we're most likely going to be trending to the upside. Okay, so that's Bitcoin for you. But ultimately, yes, if I do see if I was to see like an hourly candle close, but preferably a 4-hour candle close below this upward sloping thick turquoise line right here, which is this one. If I see a candle close below there, I would definitely expect price to eventually kind of just bounce within this area until it breaks to the upside, because descending channels are actually some of the more bullish patterns, high percentage bullish patterns, but um, as you can see, their trajectory is downward. So it will continue down until you see a break above this particular line. The bulls have to break the strength of this particular line before we can see price continuation. So I've been showing less of my oscillator indicators and stuff like that, or like my RSI, but on the 2-hour I have tracked a trend line here. So until we see this RSI above this red line, I would expect sideways realistically until we get that time event. But for the meantime, oversold is 22.139.3 and overbought is 22.762. These are dynamic numbers, but for the most part of it, that's kind of like what we're going to do. There's other indicators here, but I prefer, to be honest, I love patterns and I love support and resistance levels. If you're able to establish support and resistance, you get a better semblance of what the market's going to end up doing ultimately. But anyway, that's Bitcoin for you. I'm going to move to Quant because I've been talking about Quant for some time here. It's one of my favorite altcoins. But Quant is actually showing some interesting scenarios where it's bounced off significant levels that should have been acting as support, and they currently are, which is phenomenal. It's under some key levels. This is actually a key level here, so until I see a break of that standpoint, I'm not expecting anything of significance in terms of velocity to the upside as quickly as it would be. But yes, this was former support, so I'm going to turn that red because price is currently below it, but it is a line of significance. As you can see, when price started going up and it barely missed that edge. Look how close it got. Like it was just like a couple dollars, actually a couple cents, holy crap, away from that line of resistance. But as you can see, my support and resistance indicators, which is indicated by the yellow dots right here, more significant than the red, I'll be honest with you. These started popping up at 131.66, so that's actually true resistance. 131, there's a lot of sell orders at 131.66. Right now, I would argue that this particular line right here, this red-yellow line, I would consider this somewhat of a heart line. So if you're going to be doing mean reversion plays, you could, not financial advice, but technically you could buy here, okay? And then you could sell here, which would be a 2.5% profit, right? So that's kind of like where I'm thinking in an intraday perspective. I'm not necessarily doing short-term trades. I'm more of a long-term swing trader on this one. I'm holding this asset all the way through the bull market, but if I can get an arbitrage, if I bought like at 121 and like it ripped all the way to 130, taking a little off the top isn't necessarily a bad thing. But anyway, I digress. Overall, yes, we did survive whale manipulation indicated by these yellow X's, and so far the Bollinger Bands are tightening right above a significant resistance lines, so I can only assume that we're going to end up retesting these resistance levels and ultimately, hopefully, breaking them at some point in time in the near future. But that's the story of Quant. I'm actually going to be looking at um, Litecoin. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. So Litecoin is still playing out this larger pattern here. Yeah, to the T, really. I don't know if, but yeah, I wrote this like drawing not too long ago, and look how close it is. It's crazy, but yeah, this pattern, this triangle pattern is still playing out here. Ultimately, because of what I saw with the Bitcoin dominance chart, I do kind of lean more bullish on this one, but ultimately if I see a daily candle close essentially above this particular red line and it gets flipped as support, then I would expect Litecoin to continue growing in market cap faster than Bitcoin. So ultimately, that's kind of like what I'm expecting or hoping at this time. But if I do see a daily candle close below this particular line, then it's red alert, and we are going to, most likely dump even lower, probably to this area. But anyway, um, yeah, that's pretty much the story of Litecoin. So far, so good. It's losing value against Bitcoin ever so slowly at this time, but on a macro level, I'm still bullish on this particular pattern here. So yeah, I mean, the daily we have literally the apex in a few days, so this is going to be a quick move here. So I would say at most 23 days, but to be honest, I think we're like so close from that. It literally could be this week or the next. But yeah, that's my stance on Litecoin. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I think that was pretty fruitful overall. Um, yeah, key takeaways is the SPX bounced off of the daily support. That's phenomenal. From a daily perspective, we did get this bearish cross, but as you can see, we do have the support line that's coming up, and since then, we've just been going sideways, and as you can see, like on significant time frames, the Bollinger Bands are tight, super tight here. So it's either we're going to rip to the upside and break this pattern, which that's where I'm currently leaning on right now, or we're going to break down and then we're going to go most likely, I don't know, I would say either to the 618 or even down to the 382, but that would then trigger this ascending broadening wedge to pretty much dump the market and kind of do like a mega BART and maybe come down here at 18.5 to 18 flat, but that's the bearish scenario. I'm still thinking that this line here does hold support, but that's where my stance is up until I see any other data otherwise. But anyway, thank you so much for your time. I sincerely appreciate you. If you haven't liked this video, please do so, and also share it with your friends if you think it's worthwhile. Also, yeah, please let me know if you have any other coins that you would like me to kind of analyze and critique or anything like that. I'm happy to look at those for you. But anyway, take care. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.